Hello and welcome to the channel. In tonight's video, I decided I wanted some chili for dinner because the weather is turning very cold. And I thought, you know what? Let me be intentional. Let me take you all with me because I'm going to make enough to can. And if you'd like to see me can chili, stay tuned. First, I'm going to start out with my kidney beans. I'm going to sort my kidney beans and then rinse them and get them in my Instant Pot. I'm going to cook this entire chili batch in the Instant Pot and get it into the can. Now, what I do is I just take a handful of beans and I sort through them, pulling out any beans that look withered or broken, or if there are any rocks or anything. I go ahead on and I take those out. And then I rinse my beans under water until any of the foam or froth, because every time I get beans and rinse them, there's always this foam or froth. And once that is no more, then I go ahead and begin to process my beans. So I'm going to sort through these beans, get them in the Instant Pot after I rinse them, and I'll be right back. While I am sorting through my beans, the recipe calls for me to sweat some onions. So I'm going to take some ghee out of my ghee jar, and I'm going to put some ghee inside of the Instant Pot like so. I just washed my hands, so my hands are clean. I'm going to just take that ghee like so, get it into the pot, and I'm going to sweat down some onions, and that was about a teaspoon of ghee. So I'm going to turn on the Instant Pot. Let me show you. All right, in order to sweat my onions, I'm going to hit the saute button and put my onions in the Instant Pot. All right, so I just pulled my onions out of the freezer, and I'm just going to put some onions in the Instant Pot. Now they are frozen, but they will quickly defrost and start to sweat down. And then I'll be right back. The onions are sweating down nicely, so now it's time to put in the garlic. And the recipe that I'm following is from the Ball Blue Book of Preserving. So I'm just going to take my garlic and put it in like that. And just let this brown just a little bit. You don't want your garlic to burn. Garlic cooks down really fast. So I'm just going to let it infuse. When I begin to really smell the garlic, I know it's time to add all the other ingredients. So I'll be right back. Everything is coming together nicely. So now I'm going to turn the Instant Pot off and put in the other ingredients. And then I'll be right back. I'm going to place my beans that have been rinsed, and they are dry. These are kidney beans. The recipe calls for either diced tomatoes or tomato juice, and I canned some diced tomatoes, so I'm going to open up my jar. And I'm sorry you can't see it, but I just opened up my canned tomatoes. Oh, they smell lovely. And I'm going to pour my tomatoes in there. I'm going to give the jar a little shake. I want to make sure that I get all of my tomato goodness. Like so. And then put the rest of my tomatoes in there like that. I'm going to give it a little stir. Now again, I'm using the Ball Blue Book, and this recipe is on page 105. Now this recipe calls for meat. I am not going to be putting any meat in here. I put extra beans. Now I'm going to add the seasoning. It calls for a half a cup of chili powder. I cannot do it. the chili powder that I purchased, the packet said medium heat, but it is blazing hot. And I ended up putting a lot of chili powder in my last batch, and I almost could not eat it. So I bought another container of chili powder, and I'm hoping this one is mild. I'm going to add both, but I'm not going to be putting I think it's a half a cup. I'm not going to be doing that. That's too much. So I'm going to play it by ear, and I'm going to add what I think is a good recommended amount. And I'm going to taste it, and if it tastes like it needs a little bit more, then I will add a little bit more. But this is the hot one. The recipe does add for a little bit of heat, but I'm not going to add a lot of heat, just a little bit, because not everybody likes heat. So I'm just going to add a pinch of heat, just like that. And I'm hoping that this turns out good. I do believe I'm going to have to add some more chili powder. I'm expecting to do that because I'm just playing this by ear. So let me get the cumin seed. It says 1 teaspoon of cumin seed. So let's get that. There we go. Teaspoon of cumin seed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water in here because I have more beans and I don't want this to turn out hard and the beans not cooked. I'm just going to stir in the seasoning, and I'm going to get a little bit of water, and I'll be back. What I decided to do was put the same amount of water as I did my tomatoes. And I'm going to try to give this a little shake, but I don't think it's going to work because this water is hot. So you know what? I'm not going to even do it. I'm just going to take my spoon and just try to get the tomato from off the side, just like so, without making a huge mess of things. There we go. And I wasn't banging my jar, just a little bit of a clang. I'm trying to be careful. This jar is really, really hot. That water was hot. Let me get a heat pad. All right, let's try this again because I cannot, this was entirely too hot. And so that's an example. When you're working in the kitchen, if something's hot, protect yourself. Don't try to pick up anything that's too hot for your hands. It's just going to make things worse for you in the end when you get burned. So 1 cup of, or 1 mason jar full of water. I'm going to stir this up, and we're going to get this to cooking. Here is where you can taste it. Since there's nothing raw in here, you can taste it to see if you like the flavor. I have tasted it just a little bit, just the liquid, to see if I like the flavor of it, to see if it's too hot, too strong. Does it taste like chili? Does it not taste like chili? I did put a couple more dashes of chili powder in it, and I may have to put a little bit more once this is done, but this is ready to be turned on. So let's turn it on. Make sure it's on sealing and not vented. Right now, my Instant Pot has a button that says bean chili. So I'm going to hit that bean chili button, and I'm actually going to give it another 5 minutes because my beans are dry. Now, if you all hear that heavy breathing in the background, that is my eldest bulldog. She was playing. Sorry about that. She was playing and tired herself out, so now she's hot. So all that heavy breathing, if y'all can hear that, that's my eldest bulldog. So now we wait. The canner has come to a finish. So now I'm going to check and see if the chili is delicious. I'm going to have a little bite to eat, and then I'm going to can this tomorrow. Let's see how this looks. Smells like chili. I had to walk away from it for a minute. It is indeed hot, but it smells amazing. There are a lot of beans in here. Hope you guys can see. I might have overdid it on the beans, y'all. But I'm gonna scoop some out, have a little bit to eat, and can this tomorrow because it's getting a little bit late and I'm tired and I don't want to be in the kitchen all night since I have to work tomorrow. So I'm just gonna take just a scoop. Look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? And I'm gonna have a little bit to eat. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when it's time to can. The chili turned out great. It tastes amazing. So I am going to bottle it up and get it in the canner. Sorry about all the noise. Laundry's being done. Dogs are playing. You know, life is happening. So I'm going to get this in the canner. I'm going to take it up to a 1-inch headspace. And I'll see you when I'm taking it out of the canner. Can you all see how lovely that is? I'm going to show you in just a second. I'm making a mess over here. I'm dripping all over the place. I'm going to take it to a 1-inch headspace. That's a little bit too much, so I'm going to take some of that out. But a 1-inch headspace is right at the neck of your jar. So I'm going to take a little bit of that out and I'm going to get these into the canner. The chili is finished and I am excited about it. I cannot wait to see what the chili looks like. I can smell it, so that worries me some. Let me take the lid off. I was making room. That's water you hear dropping off of the lid on the back of the stove. I like to make sure that I have on shoes and I'm not dripping water onto my feet. I have my hot pad sitting on the, sounds like I've got, I have a little bit of siphoning, which I did expect because these are beans and I can see the jar of it, I think, siphoned. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this out of here. Oh, that's making noise. If your jars make noise when you go to pick them up, leave it. There we go. Hope you guys could see that. You don't want an accidental spray of any kind. You don't want that coming out of that jar and there we go. See? That's what I mean. Can you all hear that? Back away from the canner. Leave that jar alone. Don't stick your hand in there until that settles down. You don't want an accident to happen and that you get burned or scalded really bad. I have 2 jars that are making way too much noise for me. So I'm going to give this a second. Let it calm down and then I'll be back. They are not making any noise. Let's see if I can try this again. Nope. I have, oh no. That means in my experience, that means the ring has loosened up to the point to where it is lifting off of that jar when you go to pick it up. And that's what's causing all that noise, because your jars are still boiling. They are boiling hot. So just be very careful. I do have some siphoning, as you can see. I expected some because I was canning chili and it had beans in it. So I was going to use this water for water bath, but this is pretty gnarly. I'm going to have to clean this out and start over. Here is the final product. This chili has deepened in color. It's a brick red and it really wasn't that dark when I put it into the canner, but I can only imagine how lovely it tastes. I did have some siphoning, but I did expect that. I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I greatly appreciate you coming along with me on my canning series. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. If you want to see my videos every week when I post on Wednesdays and Saturdays, hit that notification bell, leave me a comment, and I hope to see you either in the kitchen or the garden real soon. Bye for now.